Hey everyone, welcome back for part 2 of our series on this Siebert bicycle restoration. I'm Mike with Laser Restorations, and in today's video we'll be showing you how we finished the paint and fabricated some of the hard to find parts for this 50s era bike. You'll even get a sneak peek at what this bike will look like when it's finished. So, if you like this restoration, don't forget, like and subscribe to see more cool laser cleaning and restoration action. So let's get into it. Okay, so we've got 3 coats of red paint on all 3 of our bike frame parts. Looks really good, turned out well. Next step in this process, we're going to be doing a 4-step process to get this paint evened out, buffed, and polished. So what we're going to do first is we're going to wet sand with 2000 grit and then 3000 grit. So that'll be your first 2 stages. And then we're going to buff with a buffing compound and then polish with a polishing compound. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. Alright, so you can see after the 2000 grit, got everything nice and dulled up. That's what we're looking for. Get that all nice and smooth. Get ready for the 3000 grit. Okay, so we're back and I'm taking a look at these pedals, and I painted them with the silver paint, but I'm really not happy with how they turned out. You can see they're like really bubbly, not very well done. So new plan, I'm going to cut these tabs off. I'm going to disassemble these whole pieces here. And what I'm going to do is wire brush each of these pieces really nice and clean. I'm going to replace these rubber pieces with some 3D printed pieces that I'm going to make up. And then I'm going to run all thread on each side of these with some acorn nuts to finish it off. So that's the plan with the pedals moving forward. When we're done, they should look brand new. So stick around, I'll show you how that turns out. So a couple change in plans on this build. When I took the wheels off of these rims, they were dry rotted and some of them actually cracked open. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use these standard tires from this original bike. I also was not very pleased with how the rims turned out. The pitting was just too much to make it a smooth, nice surface, especially with all the spokes. So what we're going to do is use new rims. I'm going to have to remove that gear from the original rim. Other thing I found out was I found a bike shop selling chrome fenders exactly like these. So instead of using these and painting them silver to try and look like chrome, I'm going with the original look of the bike. So this is out. So new parts, fortunately not original parts, but I think it'll tie the whole look of the bike together. In the end, it'll look a lot closer to the original. So next I'm going to work on getting this gear off of this rim. As you can see, it's kind of mismatched with a bunch of small welds in there. So I'm just going to use a 4-inch angle grinder, cut those welds out. Hopefully I can pop that off the rim. And there we go. So next we're going to work on this leather bike seat. I've got some leather cleaner and conditioner here. I'm going to spray that on, wipe it onto this, let it sit for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to use a random orbital polisher to try and polish the shine back into this leather seat. If that doesn't work, then we might have to go the route of painting it with a leather paint. So the rest of that did polish up really, really nice, but unfortunately we got this brown discoloration on here. Looks like we're gonna have to either rewrap this in leather or paint it. I'm not a great upholsterer, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint this with some automotive leather paint. It should hold up. Okay, so we're back with our bike seat. What I've done here is I've cleaned this up. I've used some solvent to get all of that leather polish off of it. I've also roughed it up a little bit with some steel wool. And now we're going to be applying the specialized paint. This is a vinyl and fabric paint. It's a little more flexible, so it works better for these type of applications. So what we're going to do here is put 2 light coats on this and see what we got after that. Okay, we're back and we're starting to do some of the final assembly on this bicycle. Working through the pedals right now, trying to figure out how we're going to fabricate the pieces that'll hold it onto the frame. So you can see I have my 3D printed pieces here. What I need to do now is just measure the length of the actual pedal. We're going to use 2 pieces of all thread to hold it all together. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out, and I'll show you guys what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so I got that measured up and it turned out to be about 3 3/4 inches long. So I'm just going to show quick the overall construction of these pedals. I'm using a 3 3/4 inch all thread, some acorn nuts, our 3D printed pedals, and then our 3D printed cap, which we painted silver. Those are all the components, and then this is what it looks like when it's dry fit. So you can see, kind of maintains that retro feel. Still works well with the way the bike was originally designed. So I just want to do a quick update on the rear hub assembly. So if you'll remember, we ended up cutting this gear off of our old hub. We've got our new hub tire assembly here. What I did was I took a piece of this pipe and I cut a spacer out of it. You can see that here. And how we're going to end up assembling this is the spacer is going to go right here. We're going to take up the space like that. We'll end up welding that around, and then we'll weld our gear onto that spacer. So it'll be somewhat the same setup as the old hub, just with obviously some newer components, newer tires.